Good to have you with us. Wednesday edition of the show. The podcast available on Spotify. The video of the show you can watch live daily over on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the back page. On Twitter, or I should say on Twitch, Jason Page 77. Over on Facebook and YouTube, just look for the Cash In with Jason Page. We're here with you Monday through Friday, noon to 1 p.m. Eastern. And like I said, subscribe to the podcast. You can catch the show there right after it's done. Sam Yarnell will be by. All your sports handicapping news coming up a little later on. AFC North, NFC North preview coming up today. And why I yelled at Sam yesterday when he started talking about, well, the Chiefs can go undefeated in the AFC West. Why it's just impossible, the science of trying to predict those things, and why I said no to it. Exhibit A will be coming up. But we start the show today with our good friend Matt Verderame, who swings by the program. He is on his way to Kansas City. Here we come for the NFL season opener. And Matt Verderame joins us he's literally on the road today, joining us on the show and on the podcast. All right, Matt, what's the latest on Travis Kelce? How bad is it?
It doesn't sound like it's all that bad, quite honestly. I mean, he might play on Thursday night. He might not. We're going to see. It's a matter, it sounds like it's swelling from his hyperextended knee. And the images have so far come back clean. I don't know at this point if the Chiefs have to do another round of imaging because of the swelling. Sometimes that can muddy up the picture. But all seems to be good in terms of the structure of the knee. And so now it might just become a matter of, can you get the swelling down? If you can, it's a pain tolerance thing. I would imagine if it's a pain tolerance thing, there's a decent chance Kelce goes out and plays. But we will wait and see. If the Chiefs, obviously, you're not going to risk Travis Kelce if there's further risk of injury, of tearing a ligament. So, to play it safe if you're the Chiefs. That said, either way, they're the favorite. Probably still deservedly so, frankly.
If he doesn't play, how drastically does it change what that team does offensively? Obviously, from a pass blocking scheme. Go ahead. Did we lose Matt?
On third.
There you go. All right, go ahead,
Can
Matt.
you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah, I'm in Iowa, so this could be interesting. Look, it's third down. It's third down that's going to change the most. It's red zone that's going to change. I mean, they're going to have to go to some of their other guys. Now, last year in the AFC title game when they played Cincinnati, they were down 3 of their top 4 receivers. Kelce was playing with a compromised back. Marquez Valdes-Scantling was the guy who really stepped up in that game. So I would think that he might be a guy you see more targets for. He's an experienced vet. He's played against the Lions plenty of his career, having been with the Packers. Kadarius Toney, he's going to play. He missed all of the summer with a knee injury himself, had to have minor surgery. He's now back. So I would think you're going to see a lot of MVS, a lot of Toney. And I will tell you, they do love their backup tight end in Noah Gray. He's not Travis Kelce by any means, but he is a guy who they really liked in his first 2 years in a backup role. They're not going to be afraid to give him some targets should that be the case. So I expect the Chiefs to just spread it around a lot, run the ball with Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon, and let that big offensive line they have do some work.
I know you were impressed with the Lions in training camp. Do you feel like they're ready for prime time as it relates to week 1?
I do. Look, here's the thing with the Lions. I think the Lions are going to be a team that makes the playoffs. I'm picking them to win the NFC North. I think that the biggest question I have in Thursday's game is about the weapons other than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, Mahomes can turn you, me, and the fan in the 10th row into 300 yards. Goff is not that. So if the Chiefs can take away St. Brown to some extent, if they double him, if they bracket him, can they win the game with Sam Laporta and Khalif Raymond and Marvin Jones Jr. and Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, that offensive line is excellent. Detroit has a huge advantage up front, especially without Chris Jones and Charles Omenihu for the Chiefs. But if you know the Chiefs, Spagnuolo is going to blitz everybody in this game, and he's going to make Goff.
Oh, there's Iowa again. All right, now go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just think, look, in the end, it's going to be about. I think the Lions are talented. I think they're going to give up points in this game. Mahomes is just too great of a player. He's going to score on most teams. Can Goff do enough when they take away St. Brown? That's my question. He was great at home last year. He was really mediocre on the road. He's going to have to play really well to have a shot to win the game.
SI.com NFL insider Matt Verderame joining us on the show. He is on his way to Kansas City for the Chiefs and the Detroit Lions, the Thursday night NFL opener. All right, I saw your prediction. I saw your prediction along with all the other SI.com NFL experts on who you thought was going to wind up in the Super Bowl this year. Some interesting, we'll just call it interesting in terms of some of the different predictions I saw when I was scanning across the different picks. Yours is very interesting because you have the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl, which means you have a lot more faith in Dak Prescott than most people.
I can't express how terrified I am of that prediction. Like, I know week one Sunday Night Football against the Giants, because there's going to be a time in that game where NBC shows McCarthy and he looks as though he just saw like World War III break out on the field. And there's this imminent fear of like a time management situation or third down. But I think they're loaded. I just think they're really, really talented on both sides of the ball. Dan Quinn's a great coordinator. They play a second-place schedule. Philly plays a first-place schedule. I think that could be the difference in the division. And the conference just isn't good. How many teams could conceivably get to the Super Bowl in the NFC? 4? Maybe. I just look at Dallas and think Dak was 37 touchdowns to 10 picks good 2 years ago. I think he bounces back. I think the Cowboys can overcome some of their shortcomings. And I do believe they're very good, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they coach themselves into 9-8. But I will have faith, and I will pick them to represent the NFC.
You kind of go chalk in the AFC. You have the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and you've got them in a rematch again with the Bengals in the AFC Championship game. You see the Jets making the playoffs, but you don't see the Jets winning the division, do you?
No, I don't. I actually picked Miami. I actually ended up, so what I did was
there you go. Verderame picks Miami just like me. That's what I like to hear.
So what I did was I actually picked every regular season game just as like an exercise and then saw how it shook. I had Miami, the Jets, and the Bills all with 11 wins, all three of them. So I ended up having like Miami with the breaker. They won the division. I like Miami. The Jets, to me, of all the teams in that division, have the widest variance. If you want to argue they're a 12-win team that could be a 2 seed in the AFC, fine. If you want to argue they're 8-9 because Rodgers just falls off a cliff and the offensive line is a mess, I'll hear it. I'll hear that argument. So I vacillate with them. I do think they're a playoff team. As far as the Chiefs, the Bengals, yeah, I'm signing up for the trilogy. I think they're the two best teams in all of football. And frankly, I'm just to the point that I was with Brady and Manning years ago. I'm not betting against either one of those two quarterbacks. I'm not. I don't care who's hurt, who's on the road, who's at home. If those guys are there, I'm picking them to win every big game that they're in until they come against each other. If they basically square off in the playoffs, and then I got to pick one to lose. And whoever's at home is who I'm picking. So I just believe that they're the two best teams, they're the two best quarterbacks. And I think in the end, like, those two teams have proven they can win in January in a way Buffalo hasn't, Miami hasn't yet. Rodgers, frankly, hasn't for years, dating back to the Packers days. The Chargers, I just believe in Burrow. I believe in Mahomes.
If you were to stray away from your prediction, if there was a dark horse that you could see potentially making a run to the Super Bowl, what would that team be? Give me that one or two teams that you think is capable of doing something special that might be under the radar right now.
Yeah, I'll give you one of both conferences. Miami's my dark horse in the AFC. That team, to me, it's about Tua. Can he stay healthy? Can he stay on the field? Because the rest of that team, pretty talented. Like offensively, they have a lot of guys. And defensively, Vic Fangio is going to get the best out of that unit. Ramsey should come back end of the year. I think they're really good. Do I think they're better than the Chiefs, the Bengals? No, I don't, which is why, frankly, I didn't pick them to beat either one of them in a playoff game. But I could see them being a real threat. I will say this. I think they need to get home field against those teams. I don't see them going into a cold weather spot and beating either one of them. In the NFC, I think Seattle absolutely could go to the Super Bowl. Like, I think Seattle's every bit as good as San Francisco is. And I think they're every bit as good, maybe a notch below Dallas and Philly, but like good enough that if they got him at home, they could beat him. Like, I believe in Geno Smith. I think he's for real. His tape was awesome last year. So those are kind of my dark horse picks in both conferences.
That's Matt Verderame, NFL Insider. He does a terrific job over at SI.com. Go and look at his predictions, all of that good stuff. He's got tons of different articles over there. SI.com, a great source for all things NFL. Matt, have a safe drive out to Kansas City. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Matt Verderame hanging out with us on the show. He agrees with Paige. Likes Miami. I don't typically put Sam on the screen in the first segment, but I just want to get his reaction to what Matt said. That's Sam Yarnell, by the way, the Prince of Picks. See? He's riding with Paige. It's what I like.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just add Verderame to the list, I guess. We'll keep the receipts. Like, when we get to January and the Miami Dolphins are starting, what's that kid's name? What is it?
Skylar
Thompson. Oh, yeah. Or no, it'll be Mike White. Mike White is going to start 8 games for the Miami Dolphins this year after Tua Tagovailoa retires in week 7. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Tom Brady will be there. Tom Brady will be the starting quarterback. Just wait.
Right, and he'll own half the team too. Right, and Uncle Roger's just gonna let that happen.
Yeah, why not? All right, stick around. We've got Sam Yarnell, who's obviously disgusted, coming up on the other side with some gambling news that you could use. All things sports betting related. Actually, an interesting number came out today from a poll that was done about how many people are expected to bet legally on the NFL this year, and it's a staggering number. We'll get to that as well. We'll have AFC North, NFC North previews and predictions today. History made in baseball last night. A New York Yankee hits a milestone home run. We'll have that coming up in the program as well. If you have not subscribed to the podcast yet, go over to Spotify and do it. It's the Cash In, and also give us a like or a subscription on the video side as well, whether it be on X. You could follow us there at the back page. You can follow me over on Twitch, Jason Page 77, or just look for the Cash In with Jason Page over on Facebook and YouTube. We're coming back. More to do on this Wednesday. Don't go anywhere. I want to say, oh, look at him fix his shirt. Look, what is that? I couldn't imagine picking every NFL game of the season. Like, we just got off the phone with Matt Verderame, who was a guest on the pod today. I can't fathom. I was literally, as he was saying, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I was going to suggest to you that you and I should go and pick every NFL game. We should go pick every NFL game and see what we come up with for records. But I feel like my brain would explode.
We came up with this segment already, Jason. It's called Page versus the Prince. We're doing it every week.
That's different. No. I mean, he picked them all before the season started.
Oh, yeah, no, never.
That's insane. Like, I wanted to ask him, how long does that take? Like, how long does it take?
A whole day. It's got to be an entire day, would be my imagination, right? Like, you got to just set out a day, be like, all right, I'll eat breakfast, then I'll start, take like an hour lunch break in the middle, maybe watch some TV, then go back to it and finish up around dinner time. And by dinner time, you're probably getting all the way to the conference championship game and then think about the Super Bowl over dinner.
I feel like my brain would explode. Like, I literally positively feel like my brain would explode if I tried to do what Matt Verderame has done. Like, no, you can't do it.
I think my brain would explode if I were a Yankees fan and they were 7.5 games out of the wild card.
7 on the loss side.
With 24 games to go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I still thought they had a chance at winning anything.
They do. They don't even look at the schedule.
They don't even have a chance at making the playoffs. And if they make the playoffs, I promise you they would get swept right out.
Nope. I disagree. I think if they got in somehow, which, again, it's a long shot. There's a reason they're plus 100,000 right now to win the World Series. I wish I knew what is there a number for them just to make the postseason anywhere? I don't know.
I bet in some states there is, in neither of the states that we're in there.
Yeah, no, I know. If they got in, I think the AL is wide open. Oh, I think it's wide open. Because unless you believe Baltimore with all those kids, and you know what? You don't know what you don't know. And if you've never been in the postseason before, and all of those guys have never been in the postseason before, then maybe other than Aaron Hicks, if you don't know what that experience is like, that's my one concern with the Orioles right now, is are they going to be able to stand up in the postseason? They've played so well. And then, look, nobody's a bigger fan of what they've done during the regular season than me. I love all the prospects, but I think everybody's got their potential Achilles heel in the AL in this postseason. Everybody. Just saying.
I understand that premise, but here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
About specifically Baltimore, right? And this is also why the Yankees, even if they made the playoffs, wouldn't do anything, because what wins in the postseason? It's starting pitching and it's 3 good starting pitchers and a really good bullpen. The Orioles have one of the best closers in baseball. They've got a lockdown bullpen and their starters are okay. The New York Yankees have one good starter and he's going to win the Cy Young, but they have one good, healthy, consistent, productive starter. And if they get to the thing is, are we really going to trust Rodon to start a playoff game? We really think he's going to make it all the way to October without getting hurt again? I don't know.
I think so. And Severino's starting to pitch like Severino again last couple of starts. After looking dreadful for about 6 weeks. He started to pitch well. I'm just saying, look, if you look at the reason I keep bringing up this Yankee thing, as much as people are going to say it's nuts and it's pie in the sky, go look at the run the Mariners made after the All-Star break. That's put them in a position now where they're either a wild card team or they wind up winning the AL West, right?
Right.
If the Yankees go on that kind of run, which right now they're kind of in the middle of, I mean, if you go look at over the last 10, I think they've won 8 of 10. They've won like 7 of 8, something like that. If they go on a run where they go 15-2 over their next 17, which sounds crazy, but look, since the kids have come up, this looks like a completely different baseball team. And the pitching has been a lot better. I think they're pitching to about a 2.5 team ERA over the last 10 games, something to that effect. If you go look at the schedule, there's going to be a lot of attrition with a lot of these wild card contenders having to play each other. If the Yankees just do their job, they've still got 3 with the Blue Jays. They've got another 3 with the Red Sox, I believe. It's either 3 more. They've got 6. Okay, 4 against the Red Sox and 3 against
the Blue Jays.
6 against the Blue Jays. That is enormous. That's an enormous opportunity. The Rangers have been folding like a cheap suit. No pun to what you're wearing there, because I'm sure that's not cheap.
This is Ralph Lauren.
Ralph Lauren, really? Wow, real Ralph Lauren.
Real Ralph Lauren.
All right,
hey.
all right. I'm sorry.
The Prince of Picks. Hey, the Picks, they pay for nice suits. What can I say?
But I'm serious. If you look at it and game it out, if the Yankees just do their job, there is an outside shot they could still be a wild card team, because there's going to be so much attrition in this next few weeks. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying they are not dead yet.
They're 69-69 right now.
Yep.
That means last spot in the playoffs this year for the American League probably going to take 84, 85 wins, I would assume, right?
Yeah.
So you got to work 16 wins out of 2 more with Detroit as of this recording. Assume they'll take both of those. They won 5-1 yesterday.
Yep.
3 with Milwaukee. Gonna be tough to take all 3 of those. Milwaukee's a very good baseball team. 4 in Boston. That's gonna be a split if we're being realistic. That'll be a split after they take maybe 2 from Milwaukee. They might win that series. They could sweep Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. 3 at home against Toronto before 3 at home against Arizona. Of those 6 games, they'll probably win 4, right? So we're at what? 10 right there. Then they're going to have to go 6-0 against Toronto, or 5-1 against Toronto and Kansas City to finish out the season.
It's not out of the realm, though, man. That's all I'm saying. Teams go on these kinds of runs. And frankly, right now, all the pressure's off. Everybody's got them dead and buried, including me, including you, including all the punditry world. I'm just saying, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Don't kill it. Without any further ado,
now the Cash In presents, it's Cash Cow, the Prince of Picks, Sam Yarnell.
There he is, the man with the finely coiffed hair. Fantastic suit from Ralph Lauren, as we learned today. He did a little name brand dropping.
That's right.
All right, Sam. Have at it.
So I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about NFL win totals as we continue to look at futures, who's going to win divisions as we do our division preview. We only have so long to get these bets in, right? You can't make these bets live. They all go off the board when Pain Day is here tomorrow, Thursday evening. And the 3 most bet tickets the 3 most bet overs in terms of tickets and cash at MGM, not necessarily in this order because the order of the 3 differentiates between the 2, but I wanted to talk to you about these 3 because I think they're all very interesting.
Okay.
People love betting New England over 7.5 wins, Washington over 6.5 wins, and Pittsburgh over 8.5 wins. Other public NFL win total overs, public in this context just means they have 70% or more of the bets as opposed to the under. Chiefs over 11.5, Saints over 9.5, Titans over 7.5, Chargers over 9.5. Seahawks over 8.5, Ravens over 10.5, Cowboys over 9.5, Broncos over 8.5, and Jaguars over 9.5.
I want to know how you're getting Pittsburgh over. Not you, but how anybody's getting Pittsburgh over 8.5.
people love Kenny Pickett to turn the corner this year. They think that's second. My honest thought on that is, just from what I've heard from different people, is I think people are kind of planning on Kenny Pickett to have a Josh Allen style breakout this year. And they think that wide receiving core of Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, they think they're going to be the Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis going forward. So that's why I think the public is so high on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I haven't quite looked at their schedule as in-depth as I don't want to go into it as in-depth as I will during our AFC North preview, but I'm not quite there, right? Like, that division is incredibly hard, and to get 9 wins. Now, I think another reason the public's probably so high, right? Mike Tomlin never had a losing season. He's almost guaranteed to go 9-7. 9-8, 10-7, something along those lines. So it's 8.5. You'd have to have a non-winning season to go under.
He can go 9-7-1. Who knows?
That's true. He could go 8-8-1.
Yes, he could.
But that's just my general thought. I don't know. I could back it because of Mike Tomlin. You never want to bet against that guy, but I don't get why the public got there on the Steelers this year. Kind of the same with the Commanders.
Well, the 6.5 is such a low number.
Yeah, but when we went through their schedule during the NFC East preview, it was they have a dogfight in just about every game. I mean, they opened the season with a couple of cakewalks, but late in the season, I think they play the Jets on either a Thursday night or I think they play the Jets on a Thursday night after the Jets come off of playing Cleveland. But regardless, the Commanders do not have an easy schedule by any stretch of the imagination.
Let's see here. They've got the Cardinals in week 1. That's a win. At the Broncos is winnable week 2.
For the Commanders.
I mean, look, this team with a mishmash of quarterbacks last year was still in the hunt to make the postseason, with a couple weeks left. So I don't maybe Ron Rivera forgot that they were in the hunt for the postseason, but not everybody else forgot that they were in the hunt for the postseason. They get the Bills in week 3. Look, I don't have a lot of faith in the Broncos yet. The Broncos got to show me. Especially when you've already got Sean Payton out there sitting there saying, "Hey, Russell Wilson, stop kissing babies like you're running for office and instead focus on playing football." Bills Commanders week 3. I mean, that's obviously a tough one. Eagles week.
That's a 42-7. That's a 42-7.
Oh, come on. It's not
54-10 the next
42-7. You going to lay me 35? You want to lay me 35 there, big shot, with your Ralph Lauren?
I would lay 2 touchdowns in that game. I'm not kidding.
I wonder what the line
Both
is
of
on it.
those
I'm sure
games.
the line's available on it. I'd be curious to know what the line is on it now.
Both of those games that the Commanders have in succession against the Bills and the Eagles, I'd lay double digits in both of them.
You would have the Bills. You would, as the Bills, you would give up 2 touchdowns to the Commanders in DC.
You
really?
think by week 3 Sam Howell's going to have NFL defenses figured out?
Listen, maybe I have a little more faith in Sam Howell.
No matter what,
winning on the road in the NFL is tough, man.
I'm telling you right now, and I hope our intern reminds me of this when the time comes around. The play in that game needs to be Commanders team total under. The Buffalo Bills defense is going to come into Southern Maryland and just bite Sam Howell's head off. It is not going to be fun for him that week.
So so we could have them 2 they could be 2-2 conceivably through 4.
They'll be 2-3 through 5.
They got the Bears,
the Broncos or the Bears, but they're not going to beat both the Broncos and the Bears.
Then they got Atlanta. That's a winnable game on the road. No. Atlanta was terrible. Come on.
Atlanta is going to run all over them. Atlanta is the Commanders, except they're going to be able to do what the Commanders do better than them because now they have Bijan Robinson behind that insane offensive line.
Just looking
They're
at
just
the
going to
schedule
run it
later.
down their throat.
The late season schedule is not kind to them. Jets at the Jets, home for the Niners, home for the Cowboys to finish.
I bet you they'll even lose that game to the Rams.
So you think over 6.5 or under 6.5? How do you feel about it?
I would go under. But we could be sitting here week 4 and I could be saying, Sam Howell looks awesome. He put up 3 touchdowns when they lost to the Bills. All that kind of stuff. And I could be having my foot in my mouth, right? I'm totally ready to do that. But right now, I have not heard anything out of the Commanders camp or anything promising enough out of the Commanders to tell me they're going to win 7 games this year.
Okay.
And the Patriots winning 8, that's just a joke. That's a joke. Come on.
All right. Patriots win 8. It's 7.5 for the Patriots.
Total 7.5. Let's see here, 71% of bets are on the over 7.5 for Patriots.
If I start doing this for every team, this could literally be like a 7-hour podcast.
Yeah,
they'll be bringing in reinforcements because we'll just be dead. That'll be it. You'll just see our shriveled up corpses sitting here with a schedule in front of us for some random team. Hanging out with Sam Yarnell on the show today, going through the AFC and NFC North. I was going to do that here. You know what? We could forgo the break because, I don't have to. So, isn't that great? Isn't that the awesome. Best part of not being on the radio is you just say, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to take a break here. AFC North, NFC North. Look at those two divisions. We were talking about the AFC North, obviously, with Pittsburgh, and the NFC North. We were just talking about with Matt Verderame. He likes the Lions of all the teams to win that division. I think the Packers are just a big question mark. I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody knows what you're going to get out of Jordan Love this year, and that's the big, to me. That's the big question mark if you're talking about that division, about whether or not you believe it's Chicago with Justin Fields, whether it's Detroit. I don't know. How do you feel? How do you feel about the NFC North?
Well, I think that I feel like I know what the Green Bay Packers are going to be. That's for sure.
What do you think they're going to be?
Not good.
Really?
Yeah, I think they'll be mediocre at best. Like, I think the ceiling for that team this year, the absolute ceiling, is probably 9-8. I think that's probably a good number.
That wouldn't be a bad first season. That wouldn't be a bad first season, though, either.
Not at all. Not at all. I don't think they're going to compete for the playoffs, and I think 2 of those wins are probably running into one or the other team beating themselves. But listen, I'm with Verderame. I like the Lions in the NFC North. I really do.
Yeah, I'm not a big Vikings guy. I'm not a Vikings guy. I thought a lot of what they did last year was smoke and mirrors. You look at the point differential, how many close games they won, all of that stuff.
I was going to say they were historically lucky. They won a historic number of 1-score games.
Yep.
They had so many teams they were playing against, including the Buffalo Bills, beat themselves off of the field. The Vikings totally ran into one last year. I think that said, we shouldn't discount them. I don't have their win total in front of me immediately, but I know it's one of the most public unders. I wouldn't be so sure about the under on their win total. I think they might make the playoffs. They may sneak into a wild card spot, but yeah, I think this division, this is the Detroit Lions division. We're going to see Jared Goff step up this year. He's going to do, I don't want to say he's going to do something he's never done before in his career, right? We remember all the early Rams days, but I like the Lions. I'm going to go all in on the Lions. You can get them plus 125, 135.
145 right now on FanDuel.
tell you exactly. Do your line shopping because it's 135 at MGM and it's 125 at DraftKings. So line shopping always important. I'm on the Lions for the NFC North. For the AFC North, that's a different story, Jason. I think the AFC North is going to be the best, not best, but most fun to watch division in football this year. Those interdivision matchups in the AFC North this year are going to be better, in my opinion, than any other divisions.
I think the NFC East will give it a run for its money in terms of competitiveness.
Really?
I do. The
NFC East.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm saying in terms of competitiveness. Yes.
And the Cowboys.
I think the Eagles will come back to the pack a little bit in terms of their overall record. I think they will come back a little in terms of their overall record. I think the Cowboys and Giants will be pretty good. And you know what? I got to see it from Sam Howell, but I think that division's going to be really competitive. But listen, I don't disagree with you that the AFC North is going to be fantastic.
It's going to be so fun.
But you're picking against are you going to pick against the Bengals?
Yeah.
No.
I hate the Bengals.
No. Yeah, you might hate the Bengals, but I don't know if you could. I don't know if you can realistically pick against the Bengals.
I'm going to pick against the Bengals because it's fun.
The Ravens,
right?
really?
Yeah.
No.
It's got to be.
Why?
It's got to be because
based on what? What, you gonna, because of Odell Beckham Jr.? You think he's gonna make that big a difference?
No.
And you have to convince me that Lamar Jackson's gonna be able to stay healthy.
That I am almost sure he will because he has a full contract now. It's not even up for debate, right? You don't have any incentive to play when you're not guaranteed whatever, certain money, et cetera, et cetera. I also think the Ravens, besides Odell Beckham Jr., people are just discounting the other weapons that they've added. I think Zay Flowers has a chance to be one of the most electric young receivers in the game. J.K. Dobbins had a nothing year last year because he was coming off of injury. He's got a chance to go back to his production of 2021 this year, and that's not something to shy away from, right? I think the Baltimore Ravens got very unlucky last year, and even in getting very unlucky, they did not have a bad season.
Lost a lot of close games. Lost a lot of close games late.
And they still went 10-7.
No, I don't disagree.
It's very much up from where they are. And they, let's not forget, they started Tyler Huntley for 2 games that last year? 3 games, maybe? Yep. No, I love the Baltimore Ravens. I'm very high on them. And especially, I think, if this Joe Burrow injury doesn't work itself out or doesn't pan out exactly how the Bengals want it, they have a lot more incentive, especially now reports coming out that we may be getting or Joe Burrow may be getting a new contract this week. There's no incentive for him to play through that injury if he gets that.
Wait a second. Time out. Stop it. You just told me that Lamar Jackson's going to play every game and he's going to be healthy because he has the incentive. Yeah. He just got the deal. Joe Burrow's going to get a deal and you're telling me he doesn't have an incentive to play. That doesn't make any sense.
Because it's totally different because Joe Burrow's injury is before the season coming in. They already have this in the back of their mind that it could be a wash. The Ravens have completely invested in this year. They're ready to go. And paying Lamar was the last step in that. Joe Burrow's injury happens before he gets the contract. Lamar Jackson's injury, if we're really going to keep calling it that, was really just because of his contract.
But the Bengals window is now. This is a team that just went to a Super Bowl, was a play away from going to another Super Bowl, and they're ready to win a Super Bowl now, and they've got to pay all these receivers, or they're going to lose a bunch of them, due to free agency. The time is now for the Bengals. They can't take a season and just throw it away.
The time was then, and the time will come again. Their window closed.
No,
it's gone.
It's not closed. That's absurd.
They lost too many pieces. It's gone.
It's absurd.
Realistically, it was closed after the Super Bowl with the Rams because they knew that the next time that they were going to be competitive, they were going to lose so many pieces because they were going to have to pay Chase and Higgins and Burrow and everybody. their window's closed. They're going to have to wait for it to come back around. I would not be surprised if the Bengals by week 10 are 4-6 and punting on the season.
What? Oh my God. I don't even believe what I'm hearing right now. I don't even believe what I'm hearing right now. I can't believe what I just saw.
Not saying I expect it, just won't be surprised when it happens.
Nah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Bengals are going to win that division. You can book it.
I'm betting on the Ravens to win that division.
I didn't give a prediction on the NFC North. I'm going to go with the Lions reluctantly. I don't love anybody in that division though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going with the Lions, but it's lukewarm. You'd have to give me your money if I was going to bet on it. I'd have to have that Ralph Lauren suit wearing money of Sam Yarnell. That's the only way I think I'd even make a prediction on that division. Because, you've got Kirk Cousins who's still, he's playing for one more contract. You got the Lions who are, everybody's darlings, but they're still the Lions. Just like I'm trying to figure out every way imaginable the Jets season's going to go up in flames. I think the same thing about the Lions. They're the Lions. The Packers, I still think the Jordan Love thing is interesting. I think, what I'm curious to see is how they start off the season. Young team, young group of receivers still. Jordan Love, sort of managing the expectations. I think he sort of gets a pass on whatever he does this year as long as he's decent. And the Bears with Justin Fields, I expect improvement from him, but I don't think he's, I don't think they're going to make leaps and bounds and become a playoff team or anything like that. I'll go with the Lions, but like I said, I'd only do it if I was doing it with your Ralph Lauren money. So you're going Lions and Ravens for those two divisions, right?
That's correct.
And I'm going Bengals, of course, and the Lions for mine. All right. We'll take a quick stop. We'll come back. I got to talk about Giancarlo Stanton making history last night. He could be the next guy to get to 500 home runs. And he might be one of the last to get to 500 home runs for quite a while when it does eventually happen. Some odds and ends to tie it up with. I haven't even talked about the U.S. Open, which was fantastic last night. My guy, Ben Shelton, going to get to take on Novak Djokovic. We got to talk about that, too. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to do. The Cash In on this Wednesday. I'm glad you're hanging out with us. All right. Glad to have you hanging out with us on this Wednesday edition of the Cash In Podcast. I am Jason Page. Sam Yarnell is here as... There he is. There he is. Looking way back. I decided to go with the hot pink golf shirt today. I've got so many... how many golf shirts do you have?
Not as many as I should. I need more.
Really?
If there are any companies out there that are looking to sponsor me, I'd be very willing to come on the cash in your very nice golf shirts. If you'd like to send them to me, just get into contact with me at Sam_Yarnell on X. And we'll work something out. I do need more golf shirts, Jason. That is so for sure.
I live in, because of where I live in the land of just, that's all you wear are golf shirts. So I would say, if I had to guess, I probably have between 15 and 20. That's probably where I am right now. But I don't fit into a lot of them. Like, I'm wearing this one, and I don't really fit in it. You see me from the like nipple line up. So as a result, it looks like this shirt fits me well, but from like the nipple line down, it doesn't. So it looks good. It looks good on camera, but if we were doing like the stand-up shot, I'd be in all sorts of trouble. All right, I wanted to make sure I got to this today. I was very excited. One of the big stories from last night in sports, besides Giancarlo Stanton hitting home run number 400, which I'll get to in a second. Ben Shelton defeats Francis Tiafoe in the U.S. Open quarterfinals. He's going on to the semis to face Novak Djokovic. I have not even checked what the early lines are on this, but Djokovic versus Shelton, I believe that's on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can find it here.
Thursday, 10 a.m.
Oh,
Ben
Thursday.
Shelton is
Here we go.
Better than 11 to 1.
God,
he's plus 1160.
You don't see that. I'm sending you money. You're placing that bet for me. I am proxy betting with you. You've got to take Ben Shelton. You have to. You have to ride the hot hand. He can hit a serve 147 miles an hour. There's
149.
Did he hit 149 last night? Okay. I only got to see parts of that match because I was bowling. Because it is bowling night. Why are you shaking your head at me? Like I'm
No, not at you. Oh, okay. Ben Shelton, because 149, hitting a tennis ball 149 miles an hour. My God.
Yeah. His serve is a game changer. And he had a moment last night in that match, third set, in the tiebreak with Tiafoe, where he double faulted twice in a row, and it was set point for Tiafoe at 7-6 in the tiebreak. And Tiafoe hit a serve. I don't know if it was a first or a second serve. And Shelton hit a baseline double line winner in the corner. It was like 106 mile an hour return. And you're just looking going, yep, that's the future of American tennis. And as heartbroken as you are for Tiafoe, who was a semifinalist last year and certainly made a great run at this event, Ben Shelton is special, man. I mean, this is crazy because, like I said, he could not win all summer. And he comes into this tournament, he's playing the best tennis of his life. I would absolutely take that. I know that there are people saying, the books are just daring you to bet Ben Shelton with that number. I mean, you don't see semifinals of Grand Slam events in tennis where you can get a guy at plus 1160. And if you've watched this tournament like I have, basically from start to finish, and watched Ben Shelton, you'd understand why I'm saying you take Ben Shelton. Even if he doesn't win, it's the right bet. If we're talking about value bets and all this stuff, the right bet on this match, there is only one bet on this match. It's Ben Shelton. I know you're not a big tennis guy, Sam, but am I nuts?
Well, so I texted my big tennis guy to see literally just now.
I love this nameless tennis guy. I love this.
We'll call him CJ. So I texted my guy CJ, and I was like, "Yo, I just saw the line for Shelton Djokovic. It's 1160. Is it worth anything?" And waiting on the response. I, not knowing anything about tennis, would say no, that it's never good to bet on an underdog at better than 11 to 1. But then again, it's tennis. And I feel like there's always a chance that anything could happen. But also, and here's the big thing, Jason, where I might, it's going to be very hard for the books to handicap this live, right? And again, disclaimer, I don't know tennis, but I do know that Novak Djokovic has this incredible tendency to drop the first and second sets and then come back and win in the last 3. So it's going to be very hard for the books to handicap this live if he remains consistent to that, and you have the plus 1160 dog up 1 or 2 sets going into the second or third. How do you offer cash outs, and how do you move the live line when a guy's up that much and he's that much of a dog? It'll be very interesting to see. The play may be, if you're planning on watching the match, play it now at plus 1160, assume that that's what will happen, right? And then when Djokovic is something more valuable, you get to a -2, whatever, -2, -170 live in match, bet that, and then you'll come away with profit either way.
I'm going to tell you the bet I like. You're going to think I'm nuts. I think Shelton wins in 4 sets. I think Shelton, because if it goes 5, he's not going to win. So if you're picking him to win, if you believe Ben Shelton's going to win, if you bet him on the money line, the corresponding bet with it is Shelton 3-1, which is going at plus 3,100. Yowza! Sign me up! Some tennis betting tomorrow morning? Yes, sir. I'll be up early.
$3 bet to win $96.
3. Going 3. Hundos on both of those bets. Are you kidding?
$300 bet.
I'm going. I may have to tap into my reserves for this one. We
advocate for responsible gambling on this podcast. Don't bet what you don't have.
All right, that's fair. I love it. Oh man, sign me up. I'm pumped. I'm so pumped. Can you know what else had me pumped last night?
What's that?
Yeah, Giancarlo Stanton, baby. Yep. Number 400. Michael K had the call on the Yes Network. Yankees win. The Yankees win. Stanton has 400 home runs. Okay. How old is he? I think he's 33, if I'm not mistaken.
Old enough that he can't run anymore?
You know what? A lot of guys can't run and play baseball. So let's just stop with that. My God. David Ortiz didn't run for the last 6 years of his career.
That was a decade ago.
Giancarlo Stanton is 33 years old. If you were to set the line on him getting to 500 home runs, what would you set it at?
Yes, at a better line than what Ben Shelton is to beat Novak Djokovic. Like, come on. So realistically, right, yeah. Giancarlo Stanton will say about 20, for the sake of easy math, 25 homers a year.
Okay.
Realistically, with all the injuries, he's never going to average that, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. That would mean he would have to play 4 more complete seasons. Right?
Well, not even. I mean, but he's been hurt. Think about it. He's been hurt this year, and he's going to wind up with close to 30. He's at 22 now. So 4 more seasons is you're not even talking 4 more healthy seasons, just 4 more seasons, because he gets hurt every year. So if he plays 4 more years, he's going to get there. He's going to get to 500.
And is he going to play 4 more seasons?
Yes. Definitely.
I don't think so.
He could be a DH.
That's why he left Miami.
No, but
that's literally why he left Miami.
He plays in the field from time to time for the Yankees.
Right, but for the Yankees, a team literally made up of DHs. What defensive star do they have? None.
Volpe's one of the best defensive shortstops in the league by every metric.
Wasn't he leading the league in errors for a while this season?
Early on in the year. But if you actually look at defensive metrics, which let's be honest, you have to take with a grain of salt. He is actually considered one of the better defensive shortstops in the league. So Just saying. And when Anthony Rizzo is on the field, he this year's had this crazy concussion injury. He's actually one of the better defensive players. And Aaron Judge was practically a Gold Glover last year.
Yes, these are all true. The thing is, Anthony Rizzo is a great defender when he can see the ball. Aaron Judge is a great defender when he can run in the field and he's not running into walls and breaking his
come
toe.
on. That's the Dodgers' fault.
That's the
Dodgers' fault.
That's like
Yankees should sue.
That's like me saying in 2012 when rookie Bryce Harper ran into that same wall at Dodger Stadium and gashed his face open that it was the Dodgers' fault. No, it wasn't. It was the outfielder's fault for not doing enough preparation before the game and knowing where the hazards were. It's part of the game. There shouldn't be
hazards. There should not be hazards.
So, okay, if there shouldn't be hazards, by that logic, then there shouldn't have been a sprinkler in Yankee Stadium when Joe DiMaggio
was Mickey Mantle
messed up his knee.
Yes.
Yeah, right. And never played center field again.
That was a different time, though. It was a different time. Come on. It's a much different time.
That's okay.
Stanton's getting to five. Bottom line, Stanton's getting to 500 home runs. He will be the next guy. He will be the next guy to get to the 500 home run club. Career home runs active
How far is Bryce Harper is what I was going to ask, because I think he just hit 300 not too long ago. Yeah, he's at 300 right now. Yeah, so I think he hit 300 this past weekend. So
how old's Manny Machado? He's at 309. Freddie Freeman's at 317.
Harper is 30. Machado is 31.
Trout will get there. 368.
Will he? Like, that's a real conversation we need to start having is, will he? Freddie Freeman is 33 and he's at 317. So tough. But I mean, the way he's hitting at 33 years old, dude,
Trout's 32. Just turned 32.
So here's the thing about Mike Trout. And this is going to sound very interesting, but in my mind, I've always kind of made Mike Trout out to be the J.J. Watt of baseball.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean, though?
Yes,
incredibly
absolutely.
Talented, physical specimen, just absolutely
MVPs.
Objectively great baseball, great player of their sport. On the face of, or one of the faces of the league, one of the most popular selling jerseys.
Yeah, I get
all
it.
that kind of thing, and just always on a team that sucks, and it forces them into an early retirement. And I think it's going to be the same with Mike Trout as it was with J.J. Watt. Right? J.J. Watt could still play professional football. He just dealt with injuries and he knew he was not playing on any contending teams. Mike Trout could still play great baseball, but he's dealing with a bunch of injuries and he's never playing on a competitive team. As a matter of fact, the team that he's on, that he's continued to dedicate himself to and said that he won't go anywhere else, right? Whenever they look like they're going to be competitive, they always crash and burn. So I would not be surprised if Mike Trout's forced into an early retirement, just gets frustrated with the situation. And he's like, all right, I made my, 300 million, 500 million with all the sponsorship deals from Nike and stuff.
I think it goes the other way. I think he asks for a trade. I think he asks out, because if Ohtani doesn't come back, that thing becomes a teardown. And if it becomes a teardown, Trout's going to say, do the right thing by me. I stuck it out all these years. Trade me. I think they will. I think they could still get something for him now. Even with all the injuries, he is Mike Trout. And there's going to be somebody out there that says, hey, you know what? We could keep him healthy. And he's going to wind up playing somewhere else. I think he'll get to 500. Not only do I think I don't think he'll get to 3,000 hits. He's at 1,624. But I could definitely see him getting to 500 home runs. He's at 368.
Now that I think about it, he would look good in a curly W.
Oh, Jesus.
You're right. Yeah, maybe he should ask out.
Yeah.
And then, we'll take on the Anthony Rendon contract just to appease them and make it all worth it.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I like it.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us today. Carl Nassib, by the way, happy retirement to him, retiring from the league at the age of 30, became the first openly gay NFL player in 2021. Says he's going to work on his new app that he founded called Rayze, R-A-Y-Z-E. It brings people together, their favorite nonprofits, help raise money for causes that are close to them. He spent 7 years in the NFL, played with the Buccaneers last year. That's going to do it. We're done on this Wednesday edition of the show. I don't know if Sam's going to be here tomorrow. Might have to pre-tape some segments. It's the start of the NFL season, man. Got to get me some Sam on the show tomorrow.
Team day tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. Tomorrow's going to be fun. Going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for watching. If you were watching on one of our video streams, if you are checking out the podcast, again, subscribe on Spotify. It's the Cash In Podcast. It's going to be here for you Monday through Friday, noon to 1 p.m. Eastern. We are live, and then the podcast will go up following that. It didn't go up yesterday because there was a technical glitch, but it will be up tomorrow. For the finely dressed Sam Yarnell in his Ralph Lauren suit, I'm Jason Page in a golf polo, which you'll see me in just about every day. We'll catch you back here tomorrow on the Cash In. Have a good one.